Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner Davis.
Whoa, good evening, good evening. I hope everybody can hear me. Am I still low?
Project your voice.
Project my voice.
Speak.
Okay.
Yes, please speak louder.
Yeah, okay. All right. Good evening, and welcome to our program this evening. We want to dwell on a topic that hasn't been brought up in a long time, but well needed. Of course, I'm sorry. I want to omit my host, my co-host, April Garner Davis. And good evening to you, April.
Good evening.
All right. Yeah. So April, there's an issue that has been burning some time ago, but seldom does it come up again. But it is well needed due to some events that were taking place that obviously the community thought, and we thought that it could be appropriately used for the betterment for the community in Conway, South Carolina, for everybody. So today we want to talk about the Smith-Jones Center, Smith-Jones Community Center. We don't know what the status is, so I think the community needs to know what the status is, because that's why we have a broadcast, to let the community know what's going on now and what's projected, etc. So we're going to start by developing a discussion with our guest, the Honorable Larry White, Conway City Councilman, and it's for the city of Conway. Should we go with Larry? How are you doing?
Sir, how are you? And Miss April, how you doing?
Good. We had some technical difficulties earlier as we were prepping for this, so I hope everybody can hear me. I'm going to be shouting all over the room now, so okay. So, Councilman White, we some time ago, back in 2006, I believe, and I have you sent us an article from your perspective, not as a city councilman, but it was an article dwelling on the action or lack of action for the Smith-Jones Community Center, and we thought that was a very unique time for that, since it had started a little time before that. So now we're talking about 23 years later, and we don't see as much as really I can speak for myself and probably a few more people, but I don't see any action there. There's been some improvements at the Smith-Jones grounds, but my knowledge of that is that it's been that there's a dividing road there where the city has its responsibilities of it, that includes the swimming pool and so. And then the other side is a commission. I think everybody's doing a great job trying to facilitate some of the requests by the community for having a place to assemble and events for that. However, sometimes, and then more times than none, a lack of resources come into play, and you just have to deal with that. So, I allude back to that article again. It was back in 2006, and
2002.
2002, yeah, 2002, longer than I thought. And you gave a good summary and from your perspective about where the Smith-Jones Center was. So I caution our viewers and anybody who's looking or listening that has no reflection on what is being done today of whomever is in charge. Okay, whatever, and you can further extend that caveat there, Councilman White. So without any further ado, could you just go ahead and give us your perspective again.
Good afternoon, all, and this is Larry White. And today I am not representing the city of Conway or the Smith Jones Community Center Board. I'm seriously been invited just to talk about the article that was written, and I want everyone to know that I have no dog in the fight, if you would. I just wanted to clarify my article and also to maybe open the doors for more conversation about what could happen there. The article was written in 2002, and I was just plain old Larry, and I was community advocate was my title at that time. If you can see that picture down at the very bottom, I was dressed doing a presentation to another community about community development. And so we wanted to make certain that Smith Jones was included in the conversation. The building had been condemned by the city. And again, I was not on city council at the time. I was just trying to revitalize or revamp the city, the recreation center. So there was a lot of vandalism in the building. There was a lot of drug use, alcohol use, and all kinds of things were happening in the building and behind the building. So we got a group of people together and started just trying to get the building cleaned up. And that was a no-go, so we had the building demolished. And I got a lot of flack about that. Like, who are you to demolish the building? So my reasoning, one of the reasons was for safety. Because one of our children could have been caught up in that building, behind the building, and hurt or even killed. So that was my main reasoning. Now, the group's main reason for tearing the building down, with hope that the community would get involved and start doing something to raise money to raise another building of some sort. That didn't happen at the time. So the organization of the group of people that were last in the leadership out there, they all resigned, and then we had a relationship with the city mayor. What's the man's name? He's dead now. I can't think of his name right now. I'll get it'll come back to me. But the mayor at the time, he was saying, "Well, Larry, what you need to get this thing started?" I said, "Let's start off with some benches." So he got some benches and put out there. Headswin to do it. He himself didn't do it, but he organized something. Then we put some benches out so that they would have something to sit on when they're out there. Then we started with the baseball field. We put Mr. Ike Palmley, bless his heart. He was one of those, it was right in his front door. So quite naturally, I went to him for help or assistance. So he helped to redo the baseball field, putting in new fencing and bases and all that good stuff and making it look usable, and it was usable. So then we just started going from there, trying to figure out what to do next. We got another group that wanted to come in and get involved that said that they had a board. And my answer to all of that was that we can have 4 and 5 boards to operate one building facility. So we agreed to let this group become what was called the joint venture group. And originally, the joint venture group was supposed to be in charge of the entire center. But then as we had different organizations and people coming saying that they wanted to be the group to be in charge, I kind of started drifting back off from that. And I think it was the Kiwanis that gave us some playground equipment that's out there now. And I think it was Kiwanis, but one community group did that. And so we wanted it on over there by the shelter, the first shelter that was out there. And then we had a lot of arguing about where it's going to be and so forth. So it wound up being where it is located now. That's when I kind of let go of Smith Jones, because I could see all this fighting. We weren't going to do anything to productive at the time. So I stepped away, and I think Reverend Cherry Hill's pastor, Coakley, yes, he came on board, and then I stepped away so that someone could kind of keep the group going. With this, there have been several leaderships in that group since then. But the city was still trying to do what it could to keep the grounds looking good. They cut the grass, etc. And so I don't know who the leadership is now, the president, etc., or who all is on the board, but they too need to. I would like for them to, not they need to, but I would like for them to have something to say on this conversation as well. Now, the reason why I was asked on this conversation was because of that letter, not because I was trying to rig anything up for the city or against the group that's there. No, just because the letter was found again by Mr. McQueen, and he said, "Well, Larry, would you like to come on?" I have no problem with coming on. Now, I want the community to know that I am not trying to take over the leadership of Smith Jones, point blank. So I would welcome all of the conversations of the conversationalists to come on board and say what you want to say about Smith Jones, because we need things out there. There has been a lot done. The bathroom's been put out there. The picnic shelters in the back. That's good things. But then we still need to know what's going on as a community, and I don't know that because I'm not going to any of the meetings. I don't know when they are now. Not because I feel like if I was going to the meetings, it would look like I was the spy for the city, and that's the farthest thing that I would have done or I would do is be a spy for anybody. So I speak from my heart, and that's why I clarified to beginning that I'm not representing the city in this conversation today. I'm just Larry White, a concerned citizen. And is there anyone online today or this evening that want to send a comment out to us? They have something to say about what I just said.
Well,
Miss Mary Skinner Jones, thank you for joining us tonight. I think Larry has said at least 3 times at the top of the show he doesn't know who's in leadership at this point. And Larry, you've made it clear that you were invited to talk about really just kind of like the vision for Smith Jones, or what was once upon a time the vision, based on an article that was written about 20 years ago or whatever, 23 years ago. So for me, as I'm listening to this, it sounds like, what's next for Smith Jones is really up to the community and whoever has a vested interest in creating or I guess elevating the partnership between Smith Jones governance, or whoever is like you said in charge, and the city of Conway.
Right.
And so what does the community need to do to reignite or reactivate any discussions or talks to kind of get the ball rolling? Because this show is all about what's next. You obviously don't know what's next because you don't even know who's in leadership. But based on some of the things that you mentioned in the article, some 20 years ago, maybe we can kind of lean into what the community needs to understand about what the vision is for the new center. So let's kind of lean into that a little bit.
Okay, well, the person on the city side is Ashley Smith. He's the recreation division person, if you would, for lack of a better term. And so he's been doing a lot for the Smith Jones Center. The pool has been renovated. The inside of the buildings have been cleaned up and all that good stuff. So it's ready to be utilized. Lots of people come out to the pool during the summer times. This year, we are opening up on this coming Friday, matter of fact. So the pool will be open next this Friday. I think it's 4:00. So we would invite all of the community to come out to the grand opening or the reopening. And yes, the Oasis Smith Jones pool. Yes, right. So that's nice. It's nice. It looks good, and the tennis courts are good. They were trying to put some pickleball there as well, and they have a disc golf, GOLF golf. out there as well, and so they're doing some things on the Smith Jones side, and they painted the basketball courts. The previous director painted the basketball courts purple and gold to keep the little hoodie more there, if you would. So there are things that's been happening, and just that we just need to make better plans than what we're doing. And that picture there is the current recreation center on Mill Pines Road that was done by the city, etc. So we want to invite all of us to come to the table and try to figure out what we need to do. The leadership, current leadership, I would love to have a conversation, not just with them, but them calling a conversation with the community to ask what things they would like to see out there. And also, it's got to be about money as well. You can't get anything, for free anymore. So we got to have a means of getting funds to do whatever needs to be done. Partnering with the city can be a help. And when I wrote that article some 22 years ago, I think it said something about they wanted a 75-year lease on the property, and my answer to them then was, no way I'm gonna be alive in 75 years, but I think I can make it 30 years. So that's how we got to that 30-year agreement, if you would. So, but then that 30-year time period has ended. But we're still with the city and the center. We're still talking, if you would. There still just need to be some direction as in who's going to be in charge of what, and how we're going to make the center a community center as it used to be. Now, back in the day, the early 70s, 80s, etc., there were programs at the building, all kinds of things. What you call it? The May Day what you call the poll? The
Maypole.
Yeah.
Maypole, yes. That was an item that we did do. So we need to just go back to doing some of those things. But we just got to have somebody leading the show. Okay. And I got a phone call coming in from someone, Miss Sandra. Yes, ma'am. But anyway, we wanted to make certain that we tried to do the best we can as a community to get the center back going again. But it's all about money. We got to have some money to go to do those things.
And I know you haven't delved into it in a long time, but what are some of the possibilities of getting financial capital for which to carry out one of the conceptual drawings? I don't know. I thought I said that. I don't know, but it's on the front page of the Rural Community Magazine. Okay.
And
I think there's a glare. We can't see it, Brother Edward. There's a glare.
Yeah, I think that was done by Mr. McIver and his group. He had someone to draw those plans, and it was very good drawing, renditioning as in what could be. But again, people just did not buy into it, And is this for me? He should go again. Yes, ma'am. Hello. This is Miss Sandra calling me, and I don't know where I can hear her. Could someone call in to you all if they have a comment?
If they want to call in, they can call my number. When you say Sandra, which Sandra are you speaking of?
Sandra Gowans.
Sandra Gowans. Okay. Larry, you want to shoot her a real quick text and with my number? I'll drop it in the private chat.
Okay.
And I'll get her on.
She's looking at us. I mean, she's viewing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then she can drop comments in into the chat.
No, she doesn't know how to do that. It's apparent.
Is she on Facebook or do you see her on YouTube? I don't see her.
Not in the comment section.
Mm-mm.
Well, I just texted your number.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, Ms. Mary Skinner Jones posted a comment. What about focus groups, partnership with the city, hire staff from community? Have anyone thought about teaching swimming classes? I'm sure all of those things are probably, you know, on the wish list. But then we go back to funding and how much a project like this would cost. So, some 20 some years ago, Larry, if you can recall, was there kind of a prospectus on how much it would cost to create a new facility on that property? And is there one now?
No, no, I would say no for 20 years back, no, as in
Okay.
the cost. And I would not say, probably Mr. Mack might know that because he had the drawing done. And I wasn't privy to that information.
Okay.
And presently, there are swimming classes being done at Smith Jones and also at the other rec center on Mill Pond Road. Just that there's a fee associated with that. I'm not certain of how much it is, but I know it's a minimal cost. So we can, this is where the community can come in, as if there was a cost, they could pay money in a pot to pay for those kids to learn how to swim. I think the entrance fee, it used to be $1. It might be $2 now to get in and swim. But I don't know how the exact price is now. But then the pool was open to the kids. That's the only place they could go. At one time, back in the day, there was a conversation about closing the pool. And that was something that got me stirred up a little bit to say, now where the kids going to go to swim, because that's where all the community kids in Grangertown and in the community area, West Ridge, that was the only place they could go to swim. The answer that I got then was go over there to Coastal Carolina University. My answer then was, how they going to get there? Does Coastal even want them over there? And both those answers were in the negative, because you're not going to send my child all the way over there to Coastal and with no supervision, and then how they're going to get there. There were buses that were going to take them there. So that stopped that killed the death of Smith Jones Pool, if you would. So we still have lifeguards out there at the pool every day that it's open. I'm just glad to say that some of the lifeguards do look like me. And that's a good thing too. So we have to push our students, our children, into learning how to swim and to become lifeguards if they want jobs at the pool, at both pools, not just Smith Jones, but both pools.
I think we have some, one interesting comment. It's good to hear from Sharon himself, suggesting that a building would help drive the community to Smith Jones. And that's part of our endeavor here, okay, for that to happen. Am I muted?
No, I can hear
Okay,
some of
okay.
it. Say it again.
Yeah, right. So, as it is shown, I think that's a good suggestion by Sharon, to let the community know that once something new that's in the community could spur other interests, and help, then that builds up the community, and driving people to go to the Smith Jones Community Center, especially in the immediate surrounding area. That could be a worthwhile endeavor to really get the community together, and especially during the summertime when we keep the young people busy. Okay, we need to do that, man. That would be to me. That would be one of the objectives for doing that.
Well, On a personal note, every summer I donate money to the pool just so that those kids that maybe not have money to come in can go in. It's not a whole lot, but it's a help. So I think every little bit will help if more people would do the same, or even some of our churches, all those fraternities or sororities, the Masons, all those folks, they should be making donations to. That's just Larry talking now. This is nothing from anybody but Larry. This is one way of getting the kids having availability for them to enter the pool, etc. It's very minimal cost, but still it has to be done.
So,
Matter of fact,
yeah. So what
So-
goes on there today? There's no cost involved, right? There aren't any costs for the user. Is there for any of the children?
yes. I think it's $2. I'm not certain of the exact cost, but there's a cost to get in.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to get, as we affectionately call her, Susu Gowans, on. I sent her a link, a studio link. She wants to come on and say a few things. I think one thing that's important to differentiate based on the comments that are coming in, there's a Smith Jones side, and then there's a City of Conway side. Is that correct, Larry?
Correct.
Okay. So I want to go back to what the focus of this show is supposed to be about. And it's all about the Smith Jones Community Center side. And to your point, there are things that are happening on the City of Conway side, which now includes the pool, the tennis court, correct?
Yes.
But the access to all of those things is public access. So here we are at this juncture where the community has to get used to the idea that it's a shared venture now, right? It's Smith Jones and it's City of Conway. City of Conway has done whatever to get the pool renovated, to restore the tennis court, to put in, like you said, the disc golf and all of the other things that are out there as far as amenities. And those things are definitely available for public use. Anybody in Conway.
Right. Correct.
The Smith Jones side, I think we have Susu. Yeah, it looks like, and all of the other things that are out there.
I hear you, but
You're going to have to close your browser on your side. What you're watching, you need to close that on your computer.
I can hear you. I need to turn the volume down. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you need to turn the volume down on the computer. I got this, Brother Edward. Okay, she just did something. I'm going to remove her for a second to get back to my point. Yeah, I don't know what she did.
Okay.
But anyway, so on the Smith Jones side, so that we can add some clarity to this conversation. On the Smith Jones side is the basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
Is that is managed by the city?
There's also the baseball field is there as well.
Okay, so baseball and basketball.
And then they have two large shelters that could for picnic shelters.
The Jesse Olds and the ones that and I'll pull them back up on the screen in just a moment. Let's see if we can get Susu on.
What am I doing wrong?
You on now?
Hold on. You're on. You just
back
need
up a little bit.
Wait a minute. I might be on the phone and on the phone.
Turn the
That is
phone off.
correct. So you need to just get rid of one. You need to get rid of the screen if you're going to stay on the phone.
Is that better?
Much better. You did
Oh, I had two things going on. I've been trying to call y'all since 4:00 this morning.
Bless your heart.
We're not on 4:00 in the morning.
How you doing?
You must
How
be
are
some
you?
kind of Susu.
I'm great. This is Susu, the one and only. Anybody else is a phony.
That's right.
But I have been, my concerns are the same as yours, Larry. You know, we rode up on the wreck the day it was owned and barbecued for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
And so many things have happened through the years until we just lost sight of that vision. Different leadership, different people couldn't get it together, and that's because we as a people couldn't get it together. But now it's time for us we as a people to get together. I took it upon myself to go find some Smiths and some Jones. And I said, look, this is your heritage. My name Faison. But this is supposed to be the heritage of your kids, your grandkids, from your ancestors who were given to you in love by somebody who
Absolutely.
had compassion for us. So it's no way we should ever lose that. And a lot of things came into being, and a lot of things came confused. But right now, I'm on the leadership board, willing to do anything I can do to help. And a lot of the Joneses have stepped up recently in the past couple of months, and they said they want to be a part. But we just need to come together and see what it is that we need to do. And like you were saying, money. Yes, we've been paying light bills for not light bills, water bills for 10 years, and they add up. You know, it's some bills that we've had to pay out of our pockets. But that's I'm not trying to get no reimbursement. But what I'm saying is I am so glad that you guys are doing this segment tonight. If we don't keep Smith Jones up, that would be a total flaw on our part. It's no reason why we shouldn't have that. So whatever means, in the words of Malcolm X, by any means necessary, we need to hold on to this part with a strength that cannot be contained. And I
So
am,
yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Is it safe to say, and I don't recall very well, but it's safe to say that building, that the dilapidated building that April had up a few minutes ago, that was that building built in early '60s, like 1961?
I'm sure at least 60s.
Yeah.
When the first
19,
time I saw the wreck, I was probably 64, 63, and they built that building shortly afterwards. And we used to have picnics and little socials and little dances and all of that stuff that the kids needed, because when they donated it, we didn't have any place to go. So they provided a place for us to go to do all those things. And somehow it just got lost. And we, as the people who we are now, need to rebuild it. And that's all that is. We need to rebuild it. It's going to take compassion. It's going to take money. It's going to take strength. It's going to take loyalty and devotion. But somehow we got to do it, because it would not make any sense for Smith Jones to just disappear.
so Susu, what do you why do you think there was such a lapse in having a discussion like this and trying to you know
Okay,
at the
you put me
catalyst?
on the
No, I mean,
spot now.
no. Well, okay, don't
But
answer
I'm
the
not
question.
afraid of
Don't
the
answer.
spot. I've been on the
Don't
spot.
answer.
No, I'm not afraid of the
I
spot.
just
I've
want
been
to
on the
know
spot.
because I wasn't here. Okay, because I wasn't here.
Say it again.
Yeah, because yeah, so talking about a total of maybe 5 years after. Before Larry wrote the article, because the building was in dilapidated shape, right? So it had to be at least 5 years before
The
he wrote the
building that
article,
they
which was
tore
in
down.
2002.
Yeah.
See, I
Right.
wasn't here at that time, so I didn't even know that a letter was written. I didn't know. And then when I
Well,
found out, the dilapidated building was already torn down.
okay.
But it was some people in charge at the time, and I don't like to point fingers or whatever, but it is what it is. So now we need another building. How about that?
Yeah, yeah.
We need another
Yeah.
building. And some people have come forth. Mr. Owens, bless his heart, he's built bathrooms out there. He's assisted us with a lot of stuff. We got bathrooms built out there. So it's people willing to help us and do things for us, but we got to come together as a people. Come together as a community. Smith Jones Community Center.
Now, there was a group back in the day, also the Seven Crown
I
Club.
remember that club. I'm old as you. Quit telling people
I
that.
know. I'm talking to the audience now. Some of them don't know this piece.
Susu, we looking at your ear.
Susu, Susu,
Yes.
can you back up a little bit so we can see your whole face?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So the
No.
Seven Crown Club, they built closed in the building. It used to be an open air building, like if you would. It just had the walls, and there were supposedly the windows were supposed to be in there, but they weren't done then. So it was an open air building. So we were out there having a good time on the open air, and then the wisdom came that we need to enclose the building so that then we can do things inside the building, like so when it's raining, the kids won't get wet from the rain blowing in and out. And then they closed section off a
You
piece.
got me?
Yeah, we sit there and say you good, and
I
then
opened up my picture for you.
you
You're
did good.
good.
You're doing good. And so there were classes that were done there, and all kinds of classes, cooking and things of that nature. And then for some reason, the love, I guess I can use that term, just washed away, and people just did not take interest in heart. The old folks that used to be the heart of the community. Once they died, more or less, Smith Jones was dying away with them as well.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I want the kids of Smith and Jones and
Yeah.
Mr. Paul Smith grands and great grands have been showing up to the meetings. Donald Jones great grands have been showing up to the meetings. And we're trying to get it together. We really are, because it's no way that we can lose this. Like I said, this was a gift of passion, a gift of love, a gift of loyalty, a gift of we want better for you. So it's no way that we can use it, no way we can lose it. But we're having events out there right now. We're not charging anything, and we need to, because that water bill keeps coming. But if we can get some help from the community, and there's the Beach from the Beach, BOMB, Brothers of Myrtle Beach, they said if we can work them in, they will help us out. And we need to take advantage of any assistance that we can get, any assistance.
So,
And
so
right now,
Susu,
say it
go
again.
ahead. Go ahead.
We're cutting the yard, we're watering the grass, it's a lot of people who are doing community service, and that's a blessing for us because we can get a little bit of free labor. But we got a long way to go, and we got a commitment that we need to make between us. This is all about us receiving the gift that was given to us and taking the best care of it that we can.
So
Could you
Susu,
tell us?
hold on. Um,
Well, y'all
there's
double
some.
teaming me now?
No,
No.
no, no, no. I'm trying to get a word in. So there were questions that came up earlier about the leadership,
Okay,
and
I couldn't get
all
on
right,
at that time. Go
yeah, you
ahead.
couldn't get on that time. About the leadership, and I was trying to kind of create, I guess, a visual in everybody's mind of what's going on out there because of the shared, I guess, ownership or management of that property. Once upon a time, we all knew it's Smith Jones, and we were the ones who were out there. And now it's a shared venture with the city of Conway. I was explaining
Okay.
earlier that it's kind of like one side is managed, by the city of Conway, which includes the pool, the tennis court, the disc golf game, and all of that. Then, as you were coming on, we were trying to explain the Smith Jones side, which is the basketball court, the baseball field, and any of the property that would go. I guess that would, I don't know my directions from here, but that would go like towards where the old building used to be, right? But
Okay.
also the shelters, are the shelters managed by the city of Conway or Smith Jones?
Thank you, April, for asking that question. There are three shelters out there. One's been out there for quite a while, and that's the one if you're coming in from what? If you're coming in from what is that?
378.
378, and if you make a turn, then you've got one shelter that's kind of like closed in, and
Okay.
that's the one we used to use that a lot.
Yes.
Okay, that was like adjacent to the baseball field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then if you come on in around, there's another shelter like coming in the way,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you keep coming towards the exit back to 730,
378.
378, girl. On the right there's a third shelter. Now, Mr. Owens, our a our a aging, anxious, effective, he built those shelters for us
I
at a
didn't know that.
minimum. So we got two on one side. We got the
Mm-hmm.
Jesse O's shelter, and we got the Ike Palmley shelter. The reason we have the Ike Palmley shelter is because Mr. Palmley has done so much to keep crime, literature, and ignorance out of that park. We had no choice but to honor him. So we honor that shed for him. And then the Jesse Owens shelter. When Jesse Owens came here and found out we had a shelter that was not being respected, was not being used, he said, "What can I do?" And he kind of took over and did some things that we needed so badly. But, he passed away shortly after that. So a lot of his plans never came to fruition. But we owed it to him to name that shelter after him. And people have asked me, why did you name that after Bob, Jesse Old? He didn't. He's not from here. I said, but just he has done more than the people who are from here. I said, well, as a matter of fact, we need volunteers. Can you volunteer to do something? Well, no, I can't. I can't do nothing. I said, well, can you recommend somebody? No, I can't. Well, then you need the hush.
I've heard that word all
But
over now.
Jesse did great things for us. But I don't mean to take over the whole show because I'm sure other people have something else to
Oh,
say. But
You
y'all
do
made the
great.
mistake of asking me how I feel.
Well, no,
That's
And
it's
good.
great
right
that you
now,
came on. It's great that you came on. And so, like, as far as the current leadership, Susu, when you say we, who are we? I see Ronald Phillips, one of my favorites.
Ronald
He is
Phillips is
he's
there.
chiming in. So, who else is a part of this leadership?
Ronald is there. I'm there. Who else is there? Ronald, say something.
He's
Ronald,
putting
please
stuff
say
in
in
the chat.
comments.
He's
Yes,
What you
putting a
say,
lot.
Mike?
Yeah.
What you say,
Uh,
Ronald?
Ronald has
please send in
mentioned
comments.
that. Yeah, he's mentioned the insurance costs and the number of acres, and he also wanted us to talk about why the city dropped the joint use agreement, which we didn't get into, but he's definitely chiming in. Susu's probably hit a button somewhere.
Sue Sue. All right,
April?
Sister Sue.
You're coming back in. There you go.
Somebody's trying to cut me off. But
That's yeah.
yeah, Ronald is part of the leadership, and he has been there from he's way older than me. he probably won't admit that in public, but
Yeah.
and then one of the really founding fathers, Michael Dixon. He's not feeling too well right now, but he's an honorary member. And I'll just give you that on a piece of paper, a list of who we are and our functions.
And could we also know when the meetings are being held?
Yeah, that's another.
The
Thank you,
meetings that
Larry.
have happened on the third Thursday of each month. When the weather is nice, we do them at Smith Jones. When it's not, we have a partnership with Conway Housing Authority, and we do it at Darden Terrace at 5:30. And we can
5:30.
change that date anytime, that date anytime. It's not written in stone. We would be so glad. We need help, and we need you to help
Well,
us.
don't you see the fruit out of this dialogue here, and it's bringing out people like you, and of course Larry, and others are going to join pretty soon on the next go round.
I hope
And
so.
I'm optimistic that it's going to blossom into something. I really am.
Mr.
Uh,
McQueen, I am
yes,
so
ma'am.
glad you said that because Chess Jones, Paul Smith, you know those people.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
This legacy is supposed to be theirs.
Right.
And that's what
Yeah.
I told their grandkids. You Paul Smith grandmama with his cocked up boots. He supposed to be out here replenishing sentiment where it was broken down. Somebody in your family. Chess Jones, y'all, some people, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
My understanding is that the, they didn't charge anything for their labor or the material,
Correct.
Brother
and
Edward, please speak up.
they didn't charge anything for the labor or the material. Mr. Chef Jones and Mr. Paul
Paul
Smith.
Smith.
Paul Smith,
And
yeah.
they
And,
didn't
and
and
these
they didn't
these were
need
bona
to. They
fide
gave away they didn't need
bricklayers.
to. They gave away the land. They didn't need to.
Yeah.
She said the black kids need someplace to go.
Yeah. Well, it's I
Well, we
think
do have a couple of questions and comments. Maybe Susu can shed some light on some things. Definitely don't want to ignore the comments that are coming in. Burl McQueen asked, "What does the joint use agreement consist of? Is there a current joint use agreement, obviously
Well,
between Smith Jones and the city?"
I'm going to answer.
I think people are trying to call her, and it keeps knocking her off of the feed because she's on her phone.
Well, the joint use agreement is no longer in effect. As at the time that the 30-year lease was
thank
joint use
you.
agreement was, that 30-year time period has gone away, and that it was not what's the word I want to reassigned or re-signed, or open again. So for various reasons, I cannot go to that right there.
And effective
Mm-hmm.
now because it expired, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Mary Skinner Jones commented.
Larry.
Yes, ma'am.
Larry.
Yes, I'm listening.
I don't know what y'all doing now.
We can hear you, Susu.
Hello.
Hello.
She can't hear us for some reason.
She accidentally pressed the mute. No, I don't know.
No, she's not muted.
No, not
Or at
muted,
least
yeah.
not showing muted.
Hello.
Hello.
We can hear you. You can't hear us.
We can hear you.
Okay. Well, we'll go to Mary Skinner Jones' comment question. If the city and county restore the building and hire a director, have board made up of, it looks like it's a suggestion, have board made up of people from the community. Question is, the community can maintain, I question if the community can maintain the building, make it a model for building the Gantt Center in Charlotte. Is community able to generate funds? So that is I guess the big question. But Larry, earlier you really couldn't answer that question about how much money it would take in order to build an actual community center, the actual facility. And because it sounds like, generating money now is just to take care of things like insurance and the utility, the water and all that. But to actually build a building, that's that's a capital project,
Right.
capital funding project.
And in order to do that, the city, and this is now I'm on my city council hat, and I hate putting that one on, but the city, in order to build something on somebody else's property, they are asking that the ownership of that property becomes the city, because the city cannot spend city dollars on private property.
On private property. That makes sense. That makes
that's
sense.
that's one of the issues. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if there was an agreement made between the two entities, I'm not certain how that would work either, because that's been their goal, their gold standard. I use it, that if we build on something, we have to own that property.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the community can also look for grants, but then who's going to write the grant? Who's going to take care of the administration and all that kind of things?
Mm-hmm.
Those things had to be looked at again. And as far as a building price, that's going to have to come into play, as in what the dimensions of the building is going to be, how it's going to be separated, if I can use those terms, like say what things are going in the building, who's going to pay for the water, the lights, and all those kinds of things. So not just the building of a building is the issue, but how the upkeep of the building is going to be upkeep.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And Ronald Phillips posted that insurance is due at the tune of $6,000 next month. I don't know how often insurance is paid, whether it's once or twice a year, but $6,000 is not a little bit of money. And I wish Susu could come back on to let us know how things like insurance and the water bills are being funded, so that people will know, I guess, what they can possibly contribute to or support right now. And then let's see.
And is there a
Yeah.
I'm not being nosy, but is there a bank account for the Smith Jones Group that if someone wanted to make donations, they would know how to do that as well?
Yeah, I wonder if the Smith Jones Group, looks like she might be trying to come back. If you can answer this, Mr. Ronald, if you're still watching, is the Smith Jones Group that's managing that side set up as some type of a corporation, LLC, or nonprofit, or what? Like you said, how are the funds being managed and handled? Tons of questions. And I don't see Susu's face, but we're gonna try to. Can you hear us? And if so, you are muted.
Mm-hmm.
Susu.
Send her a call on the phone here.
She's not back on, but sounds like we're gonna need a part 2 on this topic if people are interested. I mean, because here's my thing: we could talk about it all day. Okay, he says the insurance is paid yearly, but an action plan would definitely be something that I think the community could sink their teeth into and help them to visualize what could happen with that property. But it's just like anything else. We can come up with plans and blueprints for a lot of different things. How is it going to be funded? He says it's a nonprofit. Mr. Phillips says it's a nonprofit. How is it going to be funded? And is the community willing to, put monies toward the venture? So it will be interesting to also learn more about the descendants of the Smith and Jones families who are involved, and what their thoughts are as far as the vision and support that they might even be able to lend to assist with these initiatives. But I don't know, Brother Edward, I think you're going to have a part 2.
And that's a good thing. And
You're muted, Brother Edward.
I would like to also say that a community
Because we're running
meeting,
out of time. Okay.
a community meeting of some sort, like Ms. Jones said, to have
And then we got
a
Russell
meeting
Brown
so that we can
again.
find out what the community is willing to do and if they even want to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where the money's going to come from, partial of it anyway, the start of it.
Yep.
So I would like to say thank you to the ladies and gentlemen who are participating and listening and are sending in your questions. And remember that I am not here tonight to pose any sides on this issue, just that it was brought to my attention that we need to kind of spark it back up again And that's the reasoning for me being here tonight. Not to take over Smith Jones or not to say I'm talking on behalf of the city either. Just that I kind of pushed the ball down the road a little while and now I'm off the ball. It's out there dangling for somebody else to pick it up and run with it.
Okay, I'm going to say this and then we're going to have to terminate for the evening. I just got off the phone with Ronald Phillipson. He said that they do have a bank account. He didn't.
But they would bring your microphone to your mouth. That might help. The microphone that's on your earpiece.
Yeah.
No, the microphone that's.
No.
Oh, that's the one that's you're talking. Yeah, we can hear you now when you bring that closer to you.
Oh, so that's what that's what the issue
Yeah, we
was.
can hear you.
Okay.
And how long have you been doing this?
You better be glad we're on.
I didn't know that you were connected to that. Bring that, put that in front of you or whatever.
Yeah, I can't tell you what I want to tell you, Mr. White.
That is much better. Thank you.
Much better?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, all right. I just got off the phone with Ron Phillips, and he said that they do have a bank account. He didn't go into specifics of how much and all that kind of stuff. But and as you see on the comment side, he said it was nonprofit, and said yes, they do have a bank account. So
Mr. Phillips, if you can answer in the chat, Priscilla Fuller is asking if you're receiving funds now. So is there a way for people to donate or contribute to help with the water bill and anything else on the Smith Jones side? Please drop that into the chat.
Did you hear that, Ronald?
Yeah, put it to the microphone, Brother Edward.
What said? Yeah.
The insurance is paid annually.
Who's angry?
The insurance is paid once a year.
Oh, the insurance is paid once a year. Y'all can hear that?
Yeah.
A little bit of feedback. Turn the volume up on your phone.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I got it up high.
And just put it into the your microphone.
It's due next month. We accept donations, like Congress is, and one of our biggest problems with Smith Jones right now, as it stands, is trust. People think there's money out there, but there's no money out there. What Sue said earlier, that we've been paying out of our pockets for years and maintaining everything. We don't have any money. We have manpower, but we don't have any money. It's because we as a people, as a community, don't trust each other. And that's been our biggest downfall throughout the years. That's the bottom line.
All right, it seemed to me like we heard that loud and clear, Brother Ron.
April.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad
Yes, ma'am.
everybody hears that,
Oh, so you can
because
hear
that's
me
our
now.
biggest problem.
Yes, we can hear you, and Ronald Phillips is speaking.
Okay, I don't know. Somehow I got disconnected. Y'all kicked me off the call.
We've been funded by the current board. And members of the board right now are some of the people that Sue could not remember. Are
Don't mess with my memory.
Deborah Butler,
Deborah
Rusty
Butler.
Muhammad, Michael Dixon, Ty Dixon, myself, Sandra Faison,
Sharif,
and,
Sharif Afra Crawford.
I can't think of the gentleman's
She said
name right now,
Sharif.
but he's the butler.
Yeah.
Sharif Butler.
Mary Ann
Not Butler.
Calloway.
He's Crawford, Sharif Crawford.
Yeah.
And
Mary Ann Callahan.
Mary Ann Calloway. Yeah.
And since Reverend Floyd standing around.
Reverend Floyd, she says.
Yeah, that's right, Reverend Floyd.
Okay. All right. Hey, we get this thing together.
Now, anytime anybody wants to make a donation, feel free. You can contact any one of us. You get a receipt where you know it's not going in my pocket because I don't need it. I'm too pretty to go to big jail. I don't want to be Big Bubba's boyfriend. I'm not going to jail over nobody else's money. Not even mine.
You already
So
been to
make
jail.
sure
You know the
receipt.
deal.
You can file on your taxes if you need to, whatever the case is.
All right, man. Good talking to you. Thanks so much.
All right.
Thank y'all so much. We needed this conversation for a long time. And hopefully we can get together and maybe do a quick something for Juneteenth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because I
want
would
to bring it
love
back up again. This is long overdue. It's long overdue.
It really, and there's no reason not to do it.
Right.
But the community just is spread it out in so many different places doing Juneteenth that it doesn't benefit everybody. But Juneteenth should benefit us, not everybody.
Well, yeah, I feel very good that we have so many different names. I mean, a lot of new people chiming in on the comment line this evening, and
Exactly. And
glad
it
the
should have
word is
been
getting
going
out
on
like that.
for a long time.
Yeah,
But thank you
yeah,
for having this
yeah,
show tonight. Thank you.
absolutely.
And
So,
hopefully we'll get together, like Martin Luther King say, as a people and do what needs to be done.
yeah, I think I heard that before
And
somewhere.
like Malcolm said, by any means necessary.
Yeah, I heard that too. Okay.
Thank y'all for
All right.
allowing me to vent, because there's some things I've been wanting to say for a minute, but we couldn't get them all together. So thank you so much. And
Well, we're certainly
I
glad.
just
Yeah.
honor God and his divine decisions, and thank y'all.
I'm
Thank
glad
you, Larry White.
Thank you, baby.
All right.
I'm glad that
And
that
then
was one of the outcomes of this conversation that we're having tonight. And
okay,
that,
because I'm
you know,
sure
and you're
some
gonna.
people thought he was the traitor, but I always
Oh,
knew that he was not. I
Yeah.
always knew that.
I've been called so many unchild of God people's names.
Not by me though. Not by you've been called some stuff, but not by me. But not
Yes,
that.
sir. That don't hurt me, baby. I got tough skin now. I've
Okay,
learned.
so
I've
we're
learned.
good. And the
That's
all
right.
right.
Joneses and Larry, since you are
Uh-huh.
a white, the Joneses and the Smiths are gonna be running up in your face. So just
All
send
of
them
them
to
some kin
us.
to me. They some kin to me. Both
That's
sides.
what. So you got it. You got it. You got it. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be up in your face. Thank y'all so
I can
much
have
for
All
it.
a
Thank you,
right.
baby.
wonderful show.
Okay.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
All right, Susu. When you get some more updates, Susu, please, advise us so that we can have a part two to this, and we can
And
keep
I'd like for you
updating
to
the
be in
community.
on
Okay,
all of the
because
meetings
that's
and
our
our
duty.
city councilman too.
I will be at the next one. Third Thursday at 5:30.
Third Thursday, 5:30, and we're in partnership with Conway Housing Authority and what we call Cockham Project.
Oh, okay. I would have been going to the wrong joint.
Cockham.
She-
All right, y'all have
All
a
right.
very peaceful
Well,
night.
Take care
Thank
now.
you so much.
All right. Have a good one.
A great
All
shout
right.
out
Thank
to
you all
Praise
all
the
of
Lord.
our
thank you all for
commenters.
inviting me as well.
Thank you for coming.
Hey,
We
you're welcome.
need
Certainly
you.
welcome.
We need you.
Yeah, really.
Uh,
We were looking for this kind of outcome, to start to really have the dialogue continuously running. Okay.
And thank you,
Uh,
Edward. I ain't gonna tell them what they call you, boo boo, but thank you so much. Have a very peaceful night.
I said we had a good outcome, but yeah, now I got to diminish that a little bit. But
No, you don't.
yes, I do. Go, April. A good shout out to all of our commenters, right? Miss Diana Burns, Vernell Backman, Burl McQueen, Priscilla Fuller, and a
Oh,
bunch
that
of them.
sounds great. That sounds great.
Ronald Phillips, Mary Skinner Jones, Shirley Wiggins. Now, if that's the case, out in Burgess, where that Burgess Center should be a role model.
Yeah.
We'll
So
talk
the
about that
meeting
another
is
time.
going to be at the Burgess Center.
No,
No, I'm just saying.
don't confuse everybody.
I mean,
Shut up.
the effectiveness of the Burgess Center and how it's been run and over the years, and I
Oh,
think it's created a
okay.
good role model. We'll
And
talk about that another
look,
time.
I'm glad you said that, because we have a young lady who has a group called the Elite Steppers, and they want to practice at Smith Jones
Well,
two
those are the kind
nights
of things
a
that we
week.
need.
And they want to teach the people from the complexes how to do what they call it, put them boots on the ground and snap that
Yeah.
flag, snap that
Right.
fan and all that. And why not?
So, and April, we'll remind everybody that you can't rent a room for any kind of activity anymore at the rec center on Mill Pond Road. Is that right, Larry? Because it's now occupied by the Conway Medical Center. All those rooms, like we used to be able to get a
Really?
small
I didn't know that.
nothing.
I
Nothing.
didn't
So
know that.
that's right, nothing. Okay,
But
so
you
now you
can
know the
hurry up and bet
need.
they making some money off them rooms.
So now you know the need
That ain't my
for a
business.
building at Smith Jones. Okay, that's a good
Right.
justification right there for a good rally.
So what's
Right.
Conway Medical Center doing out there, though? What are they doing?
Rehab.
We're always looking for
We
room.
still on the air.
Rehab. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, you can't get a small room. You can't get anything.
Yeah, you used to be able to get rooms for those small events, birthday parties, and some
I
people.
could rent
Yeah.
a couple of rooms in my house for a small fee. We still on the air.
Yes, we are.
Yes,
I
you
was
are.
just joking. I ain't gonna do that. I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm getting
we
off
just-
y'all crazy.
All right, Susu.
Y'all
Listen,
have
we
a
want to.
very peaceful night, and
You too.
give your mama a hug for me.
So we want to remind everyone that this broadcast is available after the show. So make sure you share it from our YouTube page, or either send everybody to the wcmagazine.net website to view this broadcast. It will be available on the website for the next week. So by Tuesday of next week, we'll of course replace it with the next week's show. But it's always available on our YouTube channel and always available on our World Community Magazine Facebook page. So we thank everyone for joining us tonight, and certainly was a lively conversation, and I think definitely a part 2 is needed.
Okay. And delete
yes.
that part about me renting out my house.
Yeah, and then she says that she's not renting out her house, so just everybody knows that. But anyway, Brother Edward, you ready to call it a night?
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much.
You have an important topic here. Don't want to call it a night, April, but we got to do it, okay? All right. So thanks to both of you, and
thank you for bringing this conversation up. You know, even though we laughed a lot and had a lot of fun, it's a serious matter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, thank God and Godspeed.
Oh, yes.
To everybody.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Join us next week. Join us next week and listen to our discussions, and whatever you can get from that. I'm talking to our guests here, Larry and Susu.
I'll be there.
Invite other people so they can start planning.
Exactly.
To come on. Okay. Yeah.
Stuff.
Absolutely. Okay. All right.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Yes, ma'am. We'll see everybody
All
next
right.
week.
Good night.
Good night, Sugar Hill.
Good night, Sugar Hill.
That's right. April is Sugar Hill.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. We Sugar Hill. That's right.
All right. Good night.
Take care, everyone.
Praise God.
All right.
Praise God.
Have a good night.
Y'all too. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook.